Well, we definitely encountered a couple of curveballs this evening. Even Rue, even Rue, I think, got knocked off his pedestal and was a little shocked by something that went down this evening. We're going to talk about it. And I'm like, come on through, Cookie. Come on up on my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag in all its forms. What, Cookie? Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for season 10, episode 6 of RuPaul's Drag Race. Like I said, a couple of curveballs actually came up tonight. And it was an interesting episode. It was interesting. It wasn't the challenges and things like that, because that's what I've been really loving, the challenges that have been thrown. I said, wow, because I've told you all I auditioned for season 10, and I definitely would have loved doing some of these challenges that they've actually had to do. I would have loved to participate in. This one, not so much. It was necessary. It was necessary training for the most part, but not so exciting. Probably because I know how to market myself for the most part. But for the girls who are not sure about marketing, it was excellent. It was like excellent on the job training for them. So, kudos to you, Rue. I understand where you're going. Rue has a vicious business mind. So you have to just kind of pay attention and just kind of roll with her. And she will teach you some shit, even when you think you're not learning. But anyway, let's talk about it. I'm going on and on. Okay. So first things first, it was always laughs. So of course there's something that made me crack up. That goddamn Asia and Monet are just messing with each other. Not being mean to each other, but just messing with each other. The girl's cat. That damn Asia said, called Monet's wig, said, child, she keep on coming out with these itty bitty Dennis the Menace wigs. Bitch, I about fell on the floor. Itty bitty Dennis the Menace wigs. Y'all know Dennis the Menace was fucked up, child. So I fell out. I was like, Lord have mercy, these girls. Anyway. Hey, let's go into the mini challenge. The mini challenge was called Sitting on a Secret. Now, I hated this. I literally hated this. And I would have cringed and been evil the whole time if I had to actually film this. And to do it, period. But then to film it for national television, baby, I would have been evil. Do you hear me? But Sitting on a Secret, they were literally putting on blindfolds and sitting on different objects. First of all, I'm not that kind of girl, honey. I don't just go around sitting down, honey, everywhere. But they were sitting on fax machines and all of this kind of carrying on, and I'm like, okay. Then it just started. Of course, they're going to go and get obscene with it. Child, they had a traffic cone. Hey, that old nasty Vixen, honey. I said, look at this old nasty bitch trying to mount this damn traffic cone. Child, you got to figure out what it is. She going to prop herself all the way up in the chair, baby, and straddle it. I said, nasty bitch, honey. You can find her on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Xtube too, honey. Nasty bitch, honey. I said, look at her. A mess. I wasn't here for that. Then they were sitting on food and stuff. I said, marshmallows and cakes. Girl, you nasty. You need to go sit down. You need to go sit down now. It's okay. We got the pit crew and we play around with them and look at them, and that's cute. And it's like, okay, here we go. All right, girl, you pushing it. But okay, this is cute. But all this sitting on food, bitch. No, ma'am. Then old fat damn Eureka that took her ass, and ain't no issue because I'm fat too. But that fat bitch over there sitting on food farting. I said, oh. That child, oh, I couldn't with that. That shit was nasty. Eureka, sure, gut to him and start farting on cakes and shit. You fucking fat bitch. Oh, I was so done with it. Just done. Anyway, moving on. Asia O'Hara ended up winning the challenge. So prim and proper. You won the challenge, Asia. Sitting on shit. Bitch. I have my good eye on you, honey. That was a nasty little challenge. Anyway, moving on. So the maxi challenge was create a drag con panel. You have to create your whole panel that you would take to drag con with you. Business wise, like I said, this was like an excellent on the job training. And this is something you really do need to do. It's 4 years. We're 4 years into DragCon. That is one of the perks of actually making it to the show. Once you make it to the show, these are some of the doors that actually open up for you. You know what I mean? That you will be able to go and be a part of a panel at DragCon and stuff. These are the things that actually comes along with being lucky enough to actually make it to the show. So, you have to have your own, have an idea. They had to have an idea of their discussion, a demo, and also be ready to answer questions. So, yeah, they need to be able to do that. So, like I said, on the job training, if you knew, you got a chance to brush up and show what you have. If you didn't know, it was a good training so you know kind of where you're lacking. So, once they wrap the filming, bitch, you need to get on it. All of you bitches need to get on what your drag con situation is going to be, bitch, because that's how you, girl. Bottom line's green horse. So let's go. Anyway, so they paired them up in teams of 3. We got Team Hair. That was their discussion situation was going to be hair. Was Blair, the Vixen, and Miss Cracker. Team Body, which they actually focused on padding and that kind of thing, drag queen stuff. Monet, Cameron, and Eureka, which was perfect for that. Cameron and Eureka, especially. Team Faith was Asia, Aquaria, and Monique. That's makeup and makeup tricks. Okay, so it was so funny because when they're in the workroom, the girls were given, oh, child, that Team Body, that's going to be a mess, honey, with them. Cameron's dry, Monet's, hee ha ha ha, and Eureka's overbearing and thinks she's hee ha ha ha. So they said they're going to be a mess. Listen, laugh now, cry later. When I tell you that Team Body shut this challenge down, shut it down. First of all, Eureka's already been to DragCon, so that bitch knows what it's about. Y'all ain't thinking. And they got to choose their own teams. You whores should have flocked to Eureka. The bitch was just at DragCon last year. Duh. Whatever. But they shut it down. It was excellent. I was so paid to actually go and watch them 3 on a panel. What they did was good. It was the jokes were flying and landing. It was just, they were like a perfect pair. They were. And I was surprised with Cameron. Cameron actually did have, well, I figured Cameron had a lot to offer, but I thought a lot of it was more on the sewing aspect. But Cameron really explained quickly and efficiently the whole situation of like how her body, because her body is so muscular. See, that's a whole nother drag queen trick. And it takes a heavier girl, which would be Eureka. There's definitely a trick to a heavier girl, padding and all of this. And she talked about all that, about not wanting to be as though you're big anyway. You don't want to end up being even bigger. You know what I mean? But that works in your favor. That can work in your favor. But she explained all that. And then Cameron explained about trying to cover muscle and all of that. And it is more than just a garment. There's a certain way you got to pad and that kind of thing. And she explained personal stuff as to how she got so muscular and ended up, why did you decide to do drag and you're so basically on the muscle bound side, but she used to do drag before she got the body. And then she wanted to go back to drag. So you're not going to give up your body after all that work. So she explained all that, and she did it real efficiently. It was excellent. And then Monet is a tall, she's a tall queen, and she's shapely anyway. So she basically kind of was able to tell you how to just enhance what you already had. They were excellent. It was a perfect pairing. Perfect. Next was that team face. It lacked a little professionalism and originality. For the most part, they were kind of all over the place. They didn't go one at a time. They kind of tried to be efficient by kind of doing things. This one would explain a little bit and then start doing what they were doing, and the next person would explain and then start doing what they're doing, and then the next person, and then they kind of all came together and was done at the end. But it was good for time efficiency, but it wasn't good for the onlooker because it was too all over the place. Some people in your audience are not going to know exactly what you're talking about. And they were talking like they were already talking to other drag queens that knew everything that they knew. So it just wasn't too hot. And then it just wasn't efficient to me. It just, no, not learning wise, it wasn't efficient because it was all over the place. And while you're doing this and doing that, and then the things are overlapping and you're losing stuff. There's too much going on at one time. Too much going on at one time. So I wasn't here for it. It was all right. I wasn't here for it. Yeah, I wasn't here for that. I'd be mad if I actually spent my money on that because that was too all over the place. Team hair. This was, and they thought they were going to be the shit. It was disjointed. It was cringeworthy. It was a lot of reading and crassness is what it was. Again, it went along with like the Vixen's personality for the most part. And Cracker could be a bitch too. So Blair kind of got caught up in the midst of that. And Blair doesn't do all that. So where Cracker and Vixen were throwing digs and reading, if they'd had another bitchy queen, it could have worked better. But with them having Blair, it really stood out like, damn, the shit they're saying is just mean. Like, it's just mean shit. See, because reading, we always say reading is fundamental and all of that, and everybody's so attracted to this reading and letting a bitch have it and all of that. But sometimes reading is not fun. It's not always fun. Sometimes it's fucking obnoxious. Especially when you are dealing with a queen like Blair. Sitting around reading Blair is just you being obnoxious because that bitch is sweet like a sweet tart. You're reading Blair for what? What are you getting out of throwing digs at Blair? Because Blair's not going to throw a dig back at you. She's going to smile and be pretty and keep on going with her little beautiful self. So sometimes reading is not fun. Sometimes reading just comes off as obnoxious. And that's kind of the way it comes off with Vixen all the time. The bitch is obnoxious. But it just fucked up the whole thing. That whole group, I didn't care for it. I didn't care for it at all. I thought it was horrible. Okay, so the looks on the main stage were hats incredible. And they were hats. I mean, they're hats. But there were 3 that stood out for me. Okay? Asia, bitch, quit your playing. Asia had a fierce gown, but her hat was real big, like a world globe. That bit looked like she had the Epcot Center thing on her head, honey, but it was all like dandelions. And she actually had some real dandelions blowing them when she actually came out. It was very avant-garde. And it was groovy. It was groovy. It was a groovy look. It came across really, really well on television. And it was big. And it looked light as a feather. I said, I would love to put that on just to see if it, how much does she have to do to balance that? Because she did it down. It looked as light as a feather. It did. It was good and it was well done. Um, Aquaria was my absolute favorite. My absolute favorite. It was this whole tongue-in-cheek, very Broadway. You all see my thumbnail. That my favorite. It was that the bunny ears with the top hat stuck on top of one of the bunny ears, and the whole. It was just classy. It was just classy. It gave me, Broadway. It gave me Vegas showgirl. Not like the actual feather showgirl, but the other kind of showgirls, part of like a production showgirl type. It was so cute. It was so cute and it was so well executed. That Aquaria, I'll give that bitch that. She can pull a look. She says that all the time, but yeah, that bitch can pull a look. I was here for that. Totally here for it. That was my absolute favorite thing that actually hit the stage for the whole episode. I just thought that was so cute. Now, still, I can't with this no titty thing. These no titties, I just can't. And, it's hard a lot of times, especially with a thin girl, to actually pull off, wearing pants and drag because they tend to start looking like a man. But it did. She had perfectly fitted slacks and they were perfectly fitted. And those of you who sew know what I'm talking about. Perfectly fitted, nice ass slacks. That look was everything. I just want some teddies. That's all. Teddies. But fabulous. That was my favorite thing. Miss Cracker. Miss Cracker came out and hers was a whole ode to My Fair Lady, and it was done so well that it lost some of its zing. They told you that everything was made out of hair. She had the big hat, and the gown was beautiful. You knew right away when she walked out that she was doing My Fair Lady, and she said, it was her mother's favorite movie. And her hat, the whole hat was made out of hair. So her wig and her hair hat, fantastic. But it was done so well that if they never said it was all made out of hair, you wouldn't even known. You would not have even known. That's how well that bitch did that hat. And she said it took her, I think she said 12 hours to do it. I understand. It was excellent, but it lost some of its zing. It probably would be better if you've seen it in person, but on television, it just really did just look like a hat, like she was just doing a costume for My Fair Lady. That's how you know it was done well done, but it lost a little of its zing on television, but it was excellent. Those were my three favorites. The other stuff was just kind of like church hats and shit. And I was like, yeah, okay, y'all. Okay, so then the curveballs. Blair, they approached Blair and they started talking to Blair about her sweetness, and why she's always so sweet and she's always so cutesy and this, that, and the other. And then Blair, she says, well, I'm always sweet and cute, and I lean on those things because I came from a very dark place in my life. And I said, oh shit. I was like, where we get ready to go? And that's when Blair opened up and said that, her very first sexual encounter, she was actually raped at a college party. Child, it just shook the whole panel. It just shook the whole thing. And then even having to go through it again, watch it untucked, it was just, damn, Blair, it is sad. It's sad. It was sad, but it's real. You know what I mean? It's real. And I think it even shocked Rue. This wasn't one of those planned out, okay, we're going to throw a PSA in here type of things. Y'all know what I'm talking about. This thing rocked Rue too. Yeah, it was, I don't know. Yeah. You see my face, right? Okay. It was like that. I kind of felt bad for her, but not like, oh, I'm so sorry for you, because this is actually going to help her, and this is also going to help some other people. I definitely believe that. So, like I said, there was a lot of curveballs. So we go through all that. The winner of the whole thing was Eureka. Eureka won. So Eureka has won 2 challenges back to back. During Untucked, they had a video message from Eureka's mom. You know, Eureka's mom has cancer. And she actually talked and everything, and Eureka was talking about how her mom wasn't even talking when she left. So that was really nice. And then Blair's mother actually sent a message in too. So this was a rough one to go through. Our bottoms was Vixen and Blair. Funny, because Vixen just knew for damn sure it wasn't going to be her. But during that time, oh no, I know I'm not going down and I'm not going to have to lip sync child. I think it's going to be Blair and Cracker. No, baby, Cracker was safe. Your ass was down there. So they ended up having to lip sync to I'm Coming Out by Ross, by the boss, honey. So I'm like, okay, here we go. Let's see what we're going to do. And that lip sync, I was not here for it at all. I wasn't here for it. And it was a clown fest. It was a clown fest. It was like, okay, come on down here and clown. I wasn't feeling that. It's Diana Ross. This is one of them times when I said, well, hopefully somebody's going to come out and do something comedic. You know what I mean? But that's not what happened. It was a goddamn clown show. Now, I felt like for me, Pretty would have won. That's all I'm gonna say. Pretty would have won, and that's just because neither one of them didn't do shit that was worthy of anything. But it's Diana Ross. If there wasn't a comedic undertone to what you're doing on purpose, Beautiful would have won. That's all there's to it. Vixen was rolling around and first of all, she's not no dancer. She's not a dancer, so you're up here doing what you think they want you to do. And I guess she was right, because that's what they ended up going with. They sent Blair home, and they kept the Vixen, and she was doing these old crunched over rolls and falling on the ground and making a goddamn clown, because that wasn't no voguing, that wasn't no death drop, that was just some bullshit. I thought it was. Child, if I was Diana Ross, I'd be mad. I'd tell them, don't you put my song on there and have these whores falling on the floor and looking no fool to my damn song. I didn't like it at all. But they eliminated Blair, and I was kind of like, And this is one of them little things where I run into my brick wall with the show, where I'm saying my kind of drag doesn't hold up when it comes to this show. More of everything's funny. And everything ain't funny. All drag ain't funny. I'm coming out. I just don't see where the humor is, unless you needed a Bob the Drag Queen or a Monet or somebody like that that could have flipped it into something funny. Because just that performance there, that wasn't funny. Well, she wasn't trying to be funny. She wasn't trying to be funny. She thought she was getting down. She wasn't getting down. She looked crazy. I didn't like that. I was like, mm-mm. And then I got real ticked off when I looked at Blair getting ready to leave, and they're like, Blair St. Clair, I do declare. And she's standing there, and the bitch, even after getting done lip sync, just looks stunning. She really, because she's beautiful. Just absolutely looks stunning. And I'm like, she's leaving, and this motherfucker's staying. Are you serious? Girl, bye. 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 I was over it. But whatever. And let me say this. This is the first time that, now, I'll tell y'all in a minute that I don't be down with some of Rue's dresses. That dress was a goddamn mess. I don't know what that dress was about. I kept looking at it at different angles. I couldn't get with it. It looked like she was doing the paper challenge and just had all different types of paper and made the guy, I ain't like that gown. And then I was like, the makeup, I kind of was like, really? I don't know what was going on with the makeup. Like, Raven, girl, what is you doing? I didn't get that. When I looked, I kept looking at Rue and I done freeze frame and I keep looking. I was like, woo, what is going on? But the bitch's hair. Miss Delta, bitch. Rue, that bitch is always going to be right when it comes in. That bitch's hair was whooped and duped and whipped. And I said, girl, yes. Her hair was bad, but I couldn't get with that makeup today. That makeup was disturbing me. I don't know. Maybe it was just me. And it's not that it was done bad. It just wasn't Rue. It was too drastic for Rue. It was real Raven, actually. It was real, because Raven's very dramatic and dark. It was too dark for Rue, and it was given, I'm telling you, I was given, woo, girl. Yeah, I didn't care for that makeup on Rue. The makeup wasn't bad. It was definitely done perfectly, but it was just that look I don't think works for me with my Rue. But that bitch's hair was whipped and dipped. That dress they could throw in the nearest garbage can, honey. And one last thing before I leave. Miss Monique, bitch, you crazy. You crazy. Girl, and you are just obnoxious when it comes to this. You think you should be doing better than what you're doing. Now, I'm going to give you all your points because the bitch don't have no clothes. Bitch is raggedy. She's raggedy, and she admitted to being raggedy, and how she just brought some fabrics with her, and she just whipped her shit up as she go. Bitch, I just take that to mean that you didn't use your time right when you were at home before time to come to the show. And you going cheap, and I think you're using some of the things that they have laying around too. So I ain't really feeling sorry for you, baby, because you had the same amount of time to get done as everybody else. If you can't make it, then don't do it. You had time to, if the money was low, you have time to try to get sponsors, or there's a lot of different ways. Again, marketing yourself, bitch. Marketing yourself. You could have did a better job at marketing yourself. If there was a money issue, you could have done a better job at marketing yourself. But right now, girl, I think it's a cop-out to the fact that you didn't do everything that you needed to do for yourself before time to get to the show. You had the same amount of time as everybody else. But whatever. Okay, so that's that. But girl, she's really on a delusion about how she should be doing better than what she's doing. No, you cool. Be happy with being safe, cause your time gonna run out. Anyway, all right, you all. I'm done with this right now. Um, I'll see y'all next week. Later.